Hello, my name's Lindy Cowling, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, you're welcome to look back on them to see the kind of issues or the kind of things that I talk about and the kind of frequency or vibration that I put out. I have a 15-year background as a medium clairvoyant, a healer, a hypnotherapist, 3.5 years within the Twin Flame Union. I work definitely with the soul, past life regression, future life progression, healing, all sorts of things really, the psychic side of it. Like I say, I have a 15-year history of that. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk if you were interested in the sort of stuff I do. I'm not somebody that rushes to get in front of the camera, not because I'm camera shy at all, not being a Leo. It's because I won't put work out unless I'm coming from where I need to be coming from before I put that vibration out, which is I will only put stuff out if I'm coming from the heart and from the true being. I won't put it out if I'm coming from my mind on it, just my ego on it, because that would be the wrong frequency and the wrong vibration. So that's why I don't rush to get in front of the camera, and I also don't come on here if I'm processing through major stuff myself. I stay back from it then till I'm in the right space. Excuse me, I've got a really tickly throat going on here. You wouldn't believe the technical issues I've had here trying to get this out. It may crash on me again now. This is about the 15th attempt, which is very interesting. It's a Lindy thing. I'm not great for technology, but also with energy. When you're working with energy, it tends to crash electrical equipment a lot. What I want to talk about, really, God willing, if this doesn't crash on me again, is I want to talk about truth. What is the truth? Truth vibrations. Truth, absolute truth, the essence of truth, the being that you truly are, is purity. It's everything. It's the essence of who you are. So when I'm talking about truth, I'm not talking about the lowest levels of truth, which is like a man lying to a woman telling lies to a man, a child telling lies to a child. That's way too linear and way too small. I'm talking about divine truth, divinity, the true being that you are. The ultimate energy of truth is totally connected with the heart, because truth is absolute purity, and it's when you strip everything else away, all of the personality away, all of the belief systems away, all of those structures away, and it's what you are left with, the essence of you, what you're left with, that purity, that divinity, that is truth. It's something that I'm absolutely passionate about, because it's something that I've had to deal with in my own life on an absolutely phenomenal scale. I'm not talking about one person telling lies to another person, much bigger than that. I'm talking about the absolute truth and honouring of the true being, the true soul you are. So let me explain this. When somebody is unable to live their truth, they would be putting out a vibration that is not in harmony with their true being. There would be this clash going on, this constant clash of energy going on, which can cause mental illness, physical illness. That's not to say anyone with mental and physical illness isn't living their truth by any means, but what I'm saying is it causes a huge clash of energy within the system. So this would be an example. I'm going to give you a really easy example here. I'm known for calling a spade and trying to put it in plain English. Say for example, a man was putting up the facade of being happily married, whilst at the same time he was having multiple affairs with other women. And on the surface it seemed like he was a wonderful family man and really loving and honourable, but he was doing this. That would be one level of lying, but it would also be dishonouring the truth of the true being he was, you know, the true being inside. That's one level of truth. Let's, you know, feel another. Another example: a woman in a job, and maybe it's a job, you know, that everything in her is creative, but this is a job that's totally analytical, like an analyst or something, and all, you know, all her life she's been yearning to be in this job that's creative, and it's kind of eating away at her, and she's feeling ill. She's, you know, her whole energy field is imploding, you know, she's getting depressed. That's another level of truth. And it sounds really simple, but it can be, you know, truth is actually very simple, but everything around us is so darn complicated. The ego, the mind, makes everything very complicated. Other people's judgment and expectations make things very, very complicated. Actually, to be the true being you are, the being of love that you are, and stripping everything else away is probably, in some ways, the hardest thing for human beings to do, because they've been so affected by society and everyone around them that to be the truth and to just live their truth is the hardest thing that some people will do. You know, I have to say a huge proportion of people will never be able to do it. That sounds really harsh, but they won't be able to do it, because to actually be true to them is too hard. I'll give you another example. A woman, for example, that is unable to spend any time, you know, any period of months or even a year or two, without constantly jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship to validate who she is. While you can have massive compassion for that person from your heart and understand that they're just trying to jam out fear and they're just trying to validate who they are through other people, they're not able to at that time live their own truth. You know, they're having to block it out. My God, we all do these things in different ways. You know, we can use drugs to block things out, to block the truth of who we are out. We can use alcohol, we can use food, you know, oh my God, you know, all these different ways of doing this. Because at the end of the day, we get so entangled with these other things, you know. To get back to the essence of who you are, and to get back to divine love, and to get back to the truth, which is the true being you are. This is absolute truth, is in some ways the most complicated journey for most of us. When you come into that state, that doesn't mean to say that you don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean to say that you're perfect. Nothing could be further from the truth. You know, you're still learning, you're still expanding, but you are 100% you. You are showing you. On camera now, I'm showing me. There's no bullshit. There's no act going on here, which is why I'm very careful to only come on camera when it's right for me and it's the right vibration I'm putting out. What I'm saying is from the heart, so I will resonate with other people that, even if they don't agree with what I'm saying, they can just feel in their heart that where it's coming from. And that, in a way, is it's healing, and it resonates with other people. Other people, you know, that wouldn't resonate with my frequency. There's, you know, that people are at where they're at. You know, all in different, all at different stages. I heard someone say once recently, "Oh, there is no such thing as truth. That's just a perception." And you know, I don't agree with that. I think, again, they're looking too linear. They're looking at just they would say something like, well, that's you're living your truth, or that's your truth. Actually, there is only one universal truth. When you strip everything else away, there is just one truth, and that's the essence, the purity of the being, the energy is absolute truth and purity. There are people on this planet that will never get there. There are people on this planet that, especially when there's a strong psychopathic or narcissistic element in there, they put on masks and illusions of the truth, but aren't able to connect. There's no connection there. So they, can masquerade and even in a way think that they're living truth, when in fact that they're not. There's a disconnect going on. But most people on this planet, the majority of them, that's all there. It's that divinity within. It's just there's so many distractions, so much noise from other things, distracting them from reaching it. It's not an easy path, but it's the only path to recognizing the true being you are, is to come away from the noise and distraction. However you do that, whether it's less time or no time watching TV, being very selective who you're around, what you're listening to, what you're seeing, who you're mixing with, to get back into that state, to get back into that place and that state of simplicity, perhaps for many of us, for the first time in your life. It doesn't always have to be solitude to do that, but it is, although we're, consciousness, mass consciousness is connected, it's quite a solitary journey, an inward journey to get to that. And it's not easy. That's a fallacy that really, I have to be honest, it quite pisses me off. This attitude within the Lightwork community that people, if they're spiritual, it will just be like a walk in the park and they just breeze into this. I don't know anyone that's coming from the heart that hasn't gone through some enormous changes, and some of those are quite uncomfortable. We don't have a language for it, but what we call dark night of the soul. Anyone that's coming from there, there's been a lot of change around them, because like I always say, to get back to the heart, it has to be felt, not thought. It's not an analytical process. Everything is felt, and letting go of things, and letting go and changing, and letting go of people around you and belief systems. Anyone who tells you that that's easy is a liar. It's not easy, but it's a stage of evolution that we go through, and that is part of the truth. It's part of the truth. It's part of not putting up a facade, a mask, and actually being brave enough, if you like, to say, this is how I feel, this is what's happened. Actually being brave enough and saying, it's not easy. So I hope I kind of got across what I wanted to get across, really, because truth is a vibration. It's all about the heart. Anyone whose heart is opening up is compelled to actually just be truth. That's what I'm trying to get across here. It's not just telling the truth. It doesn't mean that they always totally 1,000,000% tell the truth even. It's bigger than that. It's more than that. It's a vibration. They are compelled to just be the truth, and they are drawn to other people that will be the truth. It's a vibration. It's a truth vibration. I hope I got across. I hope I haven't been rambling here. Thank God. The video held up as well, so that was obviously meant to be. Anyway, I will love you and leave you, and wherever you're at in your life, I hope you're doing your best to live the truth, like we all are. Me too. Thank you. Bye bye.